response we got, certainly even as early as June, but in July when Dean had testified.
Millions of letters and telegrams, literally tons of mail, arrived on Capitol Hill.
The outpouring, letters to me, letters to the committee, letters and telegrams to the White House and to Congress. Sometimes whole families signed the letter. It's unusual, unprecedented that the people talk back to their government this way. Never had happened before.
And then on July 30th, Bob Haldeman, Nixon's former chief of staff, was sworn in. He would be quizzed about the whole chain of misdeeds and abuses of power that Attorney General Mitchell had dubbed the White House horrors.
I will cooperate fully with the appropriate judicial and legislative bodies involved in this case.
One of those was the Houston Plan.
Do you know why Mr. Hoover opposed the plan? I'm not sure. I don't recall whether these memoranda outline the nature of his objections or not.
Over 3 days, Haldeman would testify he couldn't remember more than 100 times.
I don't recall being so informed, but I don't recall any of the other 30 or 29 decision items that were apparently also covered in that memorandum. I don't recall a state of knowledge. I don't recall the conversation. I don't recall the testimony as being quite as you've described it.
North Carolina demonstration.
Senator Lowell Weicker read Haldeman a memo he'd been sent from an advance man setting up a campaign stop in North Carolina for the president and evangelist Billy Graham.
Is that we will have demonstrators in Charlotte tomorrow. The number is running between 100 and 200. The advance man's gut reaction is between 150 and 200. They will be violent, with a penciled underlining of violent. They will have extremely obscene signs, underlining obscene. And next to the word obscene, penciled in writing, which to me, and you'll have to confirm this, seems to be the same as the writing below your initialing. It appears to be yours. If not, I want you to say so, saying good. Is that your writing there where it says good?
I believe it is, yes, sir.
As has been indicated by their handbills, it will not only be directed toward the president, but also toward Billy Graham, underlining also toward Billy Graham where you pencil in great. And my question specifically relates to exactly what mentality it is in the White House that goes ahead and indicates good when the word violence is mentioned, when obscenity is mentioned, which violence and which obscenity is to be directed against the President of the United States. How in any way can that be good?
I remember what happened after the testimony was over. I got a telephone call from my father saying, he said, "Lowell, do you have any security?" I said, "No." He said, "'Cause I'll tell you," he said, "I watched that and that man hates you." And he said, "You could see it in his eyes." And I have no doubt that that Bob Haldeman did. I mean, but again with Haldeman and Ehrlichman both, these men held enormously responsible positions. And they could have stopped all this. And they didn't stop all this. And they were in league with the president.
There was a false sense, I say false from any objective point of view, of patriotism, of being the true Americans. They all wore the little American flag in their lapels. They had no sense of the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. They believed that dissent, people who might march and say things against the administration, were subversive, were people who were un-American, rather than that this is the very thing America's all about, which is the right of the people to dissent.